What is up, Reds? Welcome to the Sunday Summary. I'm your host, Kyle. With me, as always, is Steve. It is the last match of the season. Liverpool taking on Southampton. And guys, we couldn't do it. It's Europa League. It's all good, though. We're probably going to see some faces that we haven't seen in a while start the match. But Steve, I heard that you had a spiel for us, so hit us. What's good?
Well, I just woke up this morning. First and foremost, hello to everybody in the chat as well as Kyle. I want to say this time last week, Kyle and I were approaching a beautiful round of golf at an Arnold Palmer course in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, here in the United States. And this week, I'm sitting here quite the opposite, really. Not having moved a muscle all day, and I'm feeling a little bit sad about the next few topics. So let's start off first and foremost. Would be remiss to not mention Memorial Day.
True.
Happy Memorial Day. This is a great weekend. It marks the beginning of summer for a lot of folks, but it's also to remember all those that made the ultimate sacrifice in the military. So,
Absolutely.
very, very important day here. Wanted to put that out there. The most important thing on this spiel. Next, we're going to have to talk about Bobby. It's going to be tough to do. However, he's my favorite player. Kyle, I know he's your favorite player.
He's my favorite player, hands down.
And I can't believe the day is finally here where we have to bid farewell to our beloved Bobby. He's given us moments that we'll talk about for the next 1,000 years. Thousands and thousands of years. My dog's middle name is Roberto, named
As
after
is
Bobby.
mine.
Well, I didn't know that, but I would have named him first name after Bobby if it wasn't weird to have a dog named Bobby or Roberto.
Come here, Roberto.
Roberto, come time for supper. Come. That we'll get into that. Number 3, last game of the season, and you're right, Kyle. We couldn't get it done. I don't think anyone was in major disbelief that this happened. In fact, I've said it on this show many times. Right. I think I've said it on this show many, many times. I expected this. And when it happened, I almost felt a little bit of relief. Because how long have we just been thinking, oh, top four, top four? It had to have been the last 10 or 11 weeks where we turned it around, 7 or 8 weeks. We turned it around and we were like, wow, we're playing well enough where we might come close. At the end of the day, it was never in our hands whatsoever. Once we created that gap for ourselves, it was never going to be in our hands. Therefore, you can't control your fate. You rely on other people to lose. And I'm going to be quite transparently here. Quite frankly, we don't deserve top 4.
No.
And it's hard for me to say that. We don't deserve top 4.
Well, it's good. It's a good learning experience for the club. Like, hey, you can't just play like crap for half the season and then play well and still get in top 4. You need to take a year off and realize, like, look, this is a 38-game season. You can't just show up for 28 games.
Right. No, that's exactly it. Doesn't matter how good your manager is.
Right.
It doesn't matter what kind of quality players you have. And then last but certainly not least, Liz is saying it here in the chat as well. We want to give a shout out to James Milner. The absolute workhorse, the life blood of this club for the last, how long has it been? 7 years? 8 years?
Yeah, 8 years. 8 years.
Just as much as a captain as Hendo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The most fit man on the planet.
Yep.
Rumor has it he's going to the CrossFit Games as soon as his playing career is over. I think we'll see James Milner back here someday. Or maybe at Leeds. Leeds is still a really, really big part of his DNA, and he said that recently.
Yeah.
And it kind of hurt me a little bit to hear that. It's like, yeah, dude, I know you were at Leeds, but like, come on.
I mean, I feel like he's been at Liverpool for the longest out of all the clubs. Am I wrong?
Well, we already looked at this, and I think it was close. But he said, I'm a Leeds boy through and through.
Yeah. Hey, that's fine.
That might not mean much, but
look, I'm gonna miss him, regardless if we're at the top of his list or not. James Milner is always going to have a special place in our hearts, as is Bobby Firmino, as you said. I feel bad. We're kind of neglecting Oxlade-Chamberlain and Naby Keita, but look, no one See you later.
I'm gonna miss the moments that Ox gave us. There's nothing for me to miss with Naby. I wish him nothing but the best, however.
Right.
But Ox, you gave us some incredible, electrifying moments. For that, I thank you. Naby, you did not, but I wish you nothing but the best.
Of course, anyone who plays for the club, I wish them nothing but the best, right? The way players leave sometimes, you're kind of like, I don't really care, like Coutinho. But at the end of the day, I'm just like, I want to see Coutinho do well. But Keita, Ox, see ya. Bobby Firmino for me, Steve. You hit the nail on the head. All I think about with Bobby is, and it's just running on a loop in my head. I think about PSG. I think about Arsenal. I think about the header against Tottenham sprinting to the cop. The first time that fans were allowed back in the stadium. I think about just the love that I have for that man and the fact that he's going to be leaving the club. He's actually being linked with Madrid now. That came out this morning. Bobby Firmino and James freaking Milner, excuse me, Liz, are prime examples of what a Liverpool player should be. Never in any trouble. Always working their ass off. Critical players rarely have bad games. They don't go missing. All right. You could say Bobby Firmino, towards the latter portion of his career, had some injury concerns, but usually always available. Of course, they've had injuries here and there, but they haven't been out for long periods of time. I mean, everything. I don't know how I'm gonna function day to day without Bobby Firmino in the club, Steve.
Yeah, just two major losses. I'd like to celebrate them more so than be, sad about it. We're lucky. We're absolutely lucky. Those are two players. I think there are more as well. We are lucky to have such great players. Those are two players that you never have to worry about effort with.
Never. Nope.
That's a big thing, especially when they're not going to get the love. Bobby used to a lot. They're not going to get the love when the club is performing well. They're not huge stats people. Now take that with a grain of salt because I
To be
know
fair,
Bobby produces.
he does, but remember, there was a while where he didn't get that recognition. And then he
Right.
got it for like half a season. People were like, it's time to realize how good Bobby Firmino is. Right?
Well, yeah, Bobby's back. Bobby's back. I remember those moments because there was
Yeah.
a time where Bobby was struggling for a long time. Now he didn't get the recognition for the insane success. I think after we won the Champions League final, I think that's when Bobby stopped receiving major praise. But those first few years, Mo Salah's first couple years, first 3 years, that front three, they were being talked about all over the globe.
Unstoppable. That's oh God.
One thing you didn't have to worry about was effort, is what I'm getting at. Those guys would literally die for the shirt. Similar to a Nat Phillips, a legend, a Hendo, a Robbo. You get the gist.
I do. It's time to replace those players, and that leads us into one of our major topics for today. It's Alexis Mac Allister, guys. Alexis Mac Allister deal keeps inching closer to completion, with Fabrizio Romano saying that 95% of the deal is complete and negotiated, and we're just waiting on the announcement at the end of the season for the player to come and join Liverpool. I made a video about it midweek if you guys want to go check that out. But, dude, it's every day something new's coming out. I'm trying to find the most recent one. Let me actually go to my Twitter account. That'll probably be easier. But, Steve, for 60 or 70 million pounds, I know for me, I thought it was going to be way less. But if that is the reported fee and that's true, and then taking into account that Jude Bellingham is now reportedly going to Madrid for 87 million plus add-ons, that to me, it's either one of two things. It's excuse my French. It's a load of bullshit that Liverpool didn't want to pay that much money for Jude Bellingham, considering it's pretty much what we would have gotten Darwin Nunez for, give or take. Or two, Madrid have way better negotiators than we do. I mean, how do you feel about getting Alexis Mac Allister for 60 or 70 mil when Madrid are actually pulling in Jude Bellingham for, let's just call it 90 million?
Sick to my goddamn stomach.
I agree.
But it's too late. We can't beat this dead horse. It's a shame. It's an absolute shame.
It's a damn shame.
Listen, I guarantee you the add-ons in the Bellingham deal are going to be like worth 60 or 70 million. It's going to be absurd.
Yeah.
It's going to be absurd. But Klopp wanted him. We spoke with him. He wanted to come to Liverpool. There's no if we bid 85, that's why I think this report is bogus. Because there was a rumor going around that we bid 85, wasn't there?
Yeah.
85 plus add-ons, 30 in add-ons or something?
I do remember that.
Okay, so let's say that's true.
I forgot all about that. Good point.
Then this report is bogus, or we never bid. I think he's still going to get sold for like $115, like 115.
Wow, I forgot about that. You bring up a good point. So if we bid that, say it's true, we bid that and it was rejected.
Where's Doug?
Yeah, Doug, what's up? Where you at? Nelson, what's good? Ross.
Doug,
by the way,
we
good
bid
morning
that?
to everyone in the chat. Oyvind, good morning to everyone. My mother's in here. Love you guys. Liz, you guys know who you are. Legends. What do you think about this whole situation? Patrick Walsh said Bellingham, dad, and agent fees too much. I don't think that has anything to do with it. This price is too similar to what we offered for me to believe that we pulled out of negotiations because the price was too high. Because, oh, dude, doesn't matter. Let me pull up Alexis Mac Allister here.
Speaking of Alexis Mac Allister, I knew it was going to be super high. It's going to be super high. Brighton doesn't budge. They don't have to. Brighton have like 5 players. They're going to make like 200 million this summer.
And good for them because they're going into Europe for the first time, I think. So they're going to have to buy some quality players.
I don't think they're going to buy anybody. I literally just think they're just going to find somebody else. Well, they'll buy people, but they're just going to find some other gem that's just 1 or 2 years away from being a big money move from anywhere in the world.
And we're not they buy players that I've never heard of, dude. I had no idea who Alexis Mac Allister was last year. No clue.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Matoma, I didn't know who he was until we played him.
Until he carved us up.
Yeah, until he carved us up. I'm like, oh, that dude's good.
I think the big thing about Alexis Mac Allister is, first and foremost, great player, great year, 10 goals, few assists in the league. And he can play anywhere from attacking mid to central mid to defensive mid. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no,
okay?
he is a center of the pitch guy, but phenomenal. I'm telling you guys, go watch the video I made. All the info in there.
To me, it's a great signing, but I'm just getting a little nervous because I feel like we're pouring all of our calories into this one deal. Maybe it's just the reporters that are doing that. Maybe we already have it signed, sealed, delivered. We're just waiting to announce it. I hope that's the case. But like being at the finish line with this guy for a couple weeks already, I'm ready to see what's coming next. He's coming. He's coming for a price that's too high, but we need players, so who cares? Bring them in. Pick them up, Kyle.
Pick them up.
Drive down the highway. Tell him to have his bags packed. Pick them up. Next. That's what I'm thinking.
Alexis Mac Allister. I just think of Kevin Mac Allister every time I say this dude's name.
Who is that?
Kevin Mac Allister, Home Alone.
Oh, was that his name in the show? Oh, okay.
It's a movie,
I haven't seen
Steve.
that's what I meant. Kyle, I haven't seen the movie in 25 years. 25 years I haven't seen that movie. It is an incredible movie. But now that you say it,
oh my god.
Incredible.
Let's just
incredible.
We got to walk through these stages of events. Okay. First off, you said Kevin Mac Allister. Is that his name in the show? It's a movie. Second thing, I can't even remember what you said. And then
I
you said it's
said
uncredible.
uncredible. Uncredible.
God, you got to watch
Yeah,
that
like
movie.
you're an uncredible source.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
Look, according to Dave O'Connell here, deal's 95% complete. Now, the report is saying that the deal for Alexis Mac Allister is 3 times his current salary at Brighton, which is probably not saying much. I wonder how much he was actually getting paid at Brighton. He's set to earn £150,000 per week at Liverpool.
how much?
Wow. 150K per week.
Yeah, that's what we said. That's about what we guessed a few weeks ago.
This is interesting. That's an interesting amount because I feel like that's a little bit more than Naby Keita was making, or maybe about the same. Maybe Naby Keita was making like 120, something like that. But he's going to be off the books. Ox is going to be off the books.
They're all in this range.
Yeah, I think Milner was a little bit less. Bobby was making a 180. I know he was making 180 on his new deal.
Mm-hmm.
So this is good. This is good. Yeah, that's it. That's the whole article. It's basically done. We're just waiting on the announcement. I'm excited to see who else we bring in, Steve. Because we, like you said, deal's
That's all
done.
that matters.
I'm excited to see who else we get. I do want to go back to what you were talking about with, you were talking about the price, and I don't know exactly the wording you used, but you talked about you weren't quite like super thrilled with the signing, but not in a bad way. Kind of reminds me of how you felt about Cody Gokbo, is it not?
With Mac Allister? Sorry, I was just having daydream visions of Bobby
you just weren't
linking
paying
up.
attention.
No, Bobby linking up with Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid. I'm panicking because I was reading through.
Yeah.
I was reading through Fabrizio Romano's to see what the fee was for Bellingham that they're reporting, and I ran out of time. No. This isn't the same situation at all as I felt about Gakpo. We didn't need Gakpo. He's turned into a good player. Great.
No, I think Gokbo at the moment, and guys, this is a very not concrete conclusion. Right now, Gokbo has been a better signing than Darwin Nunez. Kill me right now. I'm not saying that's
something happened with
in
Darwin.
the future. I mean, Darwin is I love Darwin Nunez. I'm not saying he's bad. I want to get rid of him. I'm just saying right now, when I watch Cody Gokbo, I'm like, damn, Gokbo's good.
No, you're right. Look, Gakpo's better for the eye test. We've said this before. He checks all those visual boxes. I think Darwin's more dangerous, personally. But something happened with Darwin. We see this happen all the time in the sport.
Right.
Where you have a guy, Darwin, the beginning of the year, we saw his potential. He scored in the Shield. Did a couple other things.
Yeah, that flick against Fulham first game. I was like, oh,
yeah, like he started to heat up a little bit, and then he got that red card. Was that against Newcastle?
Was it Crystal Palace?
I don't know, but maybe Crystal Palace. He missed like 3 games, right?
Yeah.
Lost his momentum. Then he came back. But at this time, I think Bobby was still fit and playing well.
Yes.
And Diaz was still available. So it was like tough to get minutes. But then everybody got hurt. Jota, Bobby, Diaz. No Gakpo yet. He started to play a lot, and we saw his potential, but he just couldn't finish. Right? Then we get Gakpo. Then Darwin picks it up. And Darwin was hot for a little while. He scored in 4 out of 6 games or whatever it was. Came in as a super sub a couple times. But these last couple months, I haven't seen much of him, which is frustrating to me because I don't feel like he did anything to deserve not getting minutes, but I think it just goes to show you how well Gakpo has played. Who's a better signing?
We don't have to go. We don't have to go into that rabbit hole. I think I was just saying what you just said is that right now Gakpo is in better form than Darwin, and that's why we're seeing him play more often. Now, Cody Gokbo, I saw a video titled this, and I wasn't thinking this until I saw this, but I like to watch compilations of our players. There's a very good channel, by the way, that I'm going to give a shout out to, 1947 Productions. It's 1947 Productions. They make specific Liverpool player highlights. It's a newer channel. It like just started. I think they only have like 30K subs or something like that. But very, very good videos of all of our players. And they made a Gokbo one titled The New and Improved Bobby Firmino. And obviously one that caught my attention. I was like, wait a minute. So I watched it, and that dude or woman wasn't wrong. I mean, dude, Gokbo, I'm now thinking of him as a 6'4" Bobby Firmino. And when you put yourself in that mindset and watch him play, it actually manifests itself. His ball retention is great. His ability to play a false nine is great. Okay, he can shoot. I don't know if every once in a while he'll take a shot from outside the box. I think he did one last game, and he just gets power on the ball. And Bobby's never been a long shot kind of guy.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
Gakpo's got some accuracy too. Like he'll make the keeper work, which I love. I love that. Don't blast it into row, Jay. Just smash it right at the keeper if you have to.
Yeah, right.
The only thing he's missing with Bobby are legendary moments in the sport, iconic moments. He's missing the swag. He's missing the celebrations. He's missing the ability to dribble technically. He's missing the link-up play. He's missing the defensive work. But other than that, he reminds me of Bobby.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You got to take the link-up play out of there.
No one in the world does it like Bobby.
No, I didn't say he does it like Bobby. I'm saying Gokbo can do link-up play pretty well.
No. I know.
I'll tell you who doesn't is Darwin.
I know.
He's got in the offseason, Darwin, if you're watching this, we love you. You're chaotic. You need, and I know Klopp's in your ear telling you this, you need to focus on your passing and locking in when you got the ball at your feet. Because as soon as you have the ball at your feet, you kind of go crazy. All right? Work on your dribbling and passing. And I promise you, you'll be starting next year.
T-Bags here says, I thought when we signed Nunez that we were going to change from the false nine because Nunez doesn't suit the false nine position. So I'm not sure if signing Nunez was the right decision. I understand where you're going with this. I will say, with all the attacking options that we have, not all these guys are going to get to play every match. So that said, I wouldn't be surprised, especially with Nunez's age. And by the way, the price we paid for him, I don't think matters as much because of the potential that he has, his age, and just how inflated the market is. Right? Like, we're about to spend 70 on Alexis Mac Allister.
Yeah, that's a joke.
Well, right, but that's what we're dealing with here. So take the fee off Darwin Nunez. Do you still feel the same way? T-Bags? Probably not. Probably feel a little bit different. Let's say Darwin was 45 million. I think we'd all feel a little bit different. There's a place for Darwin in this team. I truly believe that. There was a time this season, maybe a month period, where we were shouting for him to be on the team sheet every match. So he's got it in him. Think about, and again, I'll say this, think about all those chances he missed. All those chances, right? Even if he converted half of them, he'd be a top 5 scorer in the Premier League. Quietly.
That's a great
be up there. Yeah.
Great. I was locked into you saying that. All of that was great. Very good, Steve. Did you have your nootropics this morning?
No.
Man. Locked in.
Somebody's got to pay me the big bucks for this, Kyle. He's got 12 goal contributions in 29 Prem matches.
Who's this?
I'll take that. Darwin.
Oh yeah, no, Darwin, he produces. Don't get me wrong. I'm simply talking about, I don't know why. I've been very critical of him. And I just think maybe it is because of the price. I think when you brought up that point, I agree with you. I think if we got Darwin for a lower fee, I wouldn't be as critical of him. Like, say we paid for Gokbo 87 million, I'd probably be saying the same things about Gokbo. I probably wouldn't be like, oh man, he's the next Bobby. I probably wouldn't be saying that. I don't know. But Natty LFC, Gokbo, I really like. But he isn't a new and improved Bobby. Whoever said that hasn't a clue about football.
Yeah, don't take it literally.
Yeah.
Don't.
Yeah. No. It's a title.
But I do want to just put the Darwin stuff to bed. It's 14 goals and 4 assists in all comps in about 40 matches. So it's 18 goal contributions in 40 matches. And I think it's safe to assume, I'm not looking at the numbers. Can we assume that he came off the bench in 15 of those 40?
Sure.
Right? So I like this. I like what we have here. And you're right. He doesn't fit the system perfectly, but if you're down 2 goals, you put Darwin in, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
we'll see.
Darwin,
They got a full summer to turn this whole damn thing around.
right. And the thing is Darwin, right. He doesn't have to fit the system. Darwin isn't that what everyone's been crying for? Right? Like, and I'm saying in general, because we obviously play a specific system and formation and we look at specific types of players. And Darwin is the outlier in that. You look at all of our attacking players and they're all interchangeable players, attacking players that can play across the front line. Literally everybody, all right? Except for maybe Salah. But Salah can even play central. Darwin Nunez is really the only one that's just a pure striker. Absolutely a pure striker. And we had that with Divock Origi, right? I don't think this is what happened. I think Klopp actually bought Darwin Nunez because he sees Darwin Nunez as a future starting striker that is just undroppable because he's only 23, I think. 23 or 24.
It's pretty insane. Yeah,
It is pretty. It's unbelievable how young he is.
If we didn't get him at the time, we never would have got him because
No,
his
and
next move is going to be a Real Madrid or a Barcelona or something like that.
Exactly. Because when you look, for example, look at how Klopp used Divock Origi. Divock Origi was a super sub. Okay, he couldn't start in that system. But when you needed goals, like you said, Steve, you're down 2 goals. Who you subbing on? Divock Origi, Darwin Nunez. That's what I'm thinking.
No, I'm just thinking about how much of a legend Divock Origi is.
He really is.
Dude,
T-Back
I get.
Steve, it's just Nunez has had his better performances as a left winger. I agree with that. With Gokbo as a false 9, which makes me think that Klopp doesn't know what to do with him. And maybe he doesn't. And I don't think it's he doesn't know what to do with him, but he's trying to figure out what's best for him. Because he obviously wants Darwin to play. He wouldn't have bought Darwin or he wouldn't have pushed for the acquisition of Darwin if he didn't want him. I think Klopp just goes from league to league and he finds players that he likes and he buys them. It's interesting.
Let me ask you this, all of you. What's the safer play? Gakpo or Nunez? What's
Gakpo.
it safer? Okay. We didn't have any time to take risks and play, right? For the last 6 months, that's what's going on.
Right.
We weren't in a great position. We didn't have any meaningless games for the last few months, getting bounced from other competitions. Like, there was no time to take risks and play with new formations and try new things. We had to literally put out the safest team that would help us not lose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are times this season I believe we played to not lose.
I was just about to say that. I hate that. I hate playing not to lose.
And Darwin is not a player that's on the sheet for those matches. So I'm excited for him next year. Maybe more excited than any other player we have is to see what Darwin can do, how we use him. Does he get 30 minutes a game at the end? If so, I'm fine with that because he's got burners. Yeah. You put him on for the last 30, 35 minutes against an old, like, I feel like there aren't many pacey center backs in this league.
Yo, put him on against Craig Dawson and watch him get burned.
Yeah, dude, think about like all the center back. Like, we have the most pace at center back in the league. That is a fact. Think about like Tottenham. Who's playing center back? Dyer?
Eric Dyer?
Like, put Darwin Nunez on for 30 minutes against him. Like, he could get you 15 goals in a season just from playing from a sub position.
Can't believe Maguire. What's going on at United with that? Steve, let me hit you with a name that you're just forgetting about, and we're all forgetting about. Diogo Jota. Don't forget about Jota, guys.
I could never.
The attacking line is unbelievable. Now, I want to transition a little bit here and kind of talk about what I see for next season. Tony brings it up here. Most of these players we're talking about are not the finished article. They need time to develop and our tactics to evolve. And that kind of reminded me that Klopp may have bought Darwin, like you said, Steve. The price is only going to go up. He may have gotten him because he saw an opportunity for a player that is going to be incredible in a few years' time. Get him now for a quote-unquote affordable price. And he's getting Alexis Mac Allister. Alexis Mac Allister is more of a attacking midfielder, is he not?
The stats say so.
Okay.
But I literally think the guy can play anywhere. Let's face it. He's not going to play CDM for us. He's too small.
Let's just say he's an attacking midfielder. Not really in our system right now. Darwin, not really in our system right now. Is Klopp finally buying players to play a different system? I don't know.
Well, if you're going to swing Trent over, I think Mac Allister is perfect.
Exactly. Trent. If you have Trent and all right, if Trent's going to play midfield, you know what I'm saying. If Trent's going to play midfield, all right, and you have a player that he can give the ball to, and then that player can turn and create off of Trent, you're going to have a problem in that midfield. Now, Trent doesn't have to be the sole creator. Trent can still create in midfield. Oh, dude, Steve, I'm getting excited thinking about it.
I have to say something here.
Do it.
Because what you're saying is perfect. But here's what I'm picturing. And I've seen it. We just saw it. Who was it against? Maybe like 6 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, we saw it. Trent lobbed it over the top, Darwin chest, tap it in. Maybe it was Gakpo that did it. I think it was Darwin. Off his chest.
Curtis Jones has had a couple beauties recently.
All right, listen. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Who would you rather have making a run? Darwin. It's Darwin. I can already answer that. I'm answering it for myself. Darwin's got the pace, and he was a little bit rusty this year. He was offsides a million times at the beginning of the year. I'm sure you guys remember all that. It felt like it was 3 years ago. It was literally the beginning of this season. He's going to time his runs better, and Trent is going to drop balls over the back line all game long, especially when those strikers are tired. These lineups we put out are going to be like, there's going to be levels and tiers. And I think you'll see Trent in midfield quite a bit. I think it'll still be kind of a hybrid role, but I think you'll see Mac Allister playing a little bit more forward with maybe a Hendo. Fabinho, whoever. But I think you're going to see Darwin used to just obliterate slow center backs towards the end of matches next year. And I'm fine with that. Trent with a little curler over the back line that just meets Darwin in stride. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, it's
I live for it.
Think about. It's actually insane. LD's here says our main issue is in the midfield is that we don't have pace. I disagree. So for me, we need one or two midfielders who are similar to Genie. Are you saying Genie has pace?
Genie was quick. I think he means legs.
Okay. Do you
mean he means more so legs rather than speed? I
was gonna say, yeah, because I mean Ox is probably the paciest midfielder, right?
I know what he means.
Okay.
We need guys that have stamina, legs, that can play the whole match and are a little bit quicker. And I think Mac Allister is quick. He is quick. Elliott's young. His body is like maturing. He needs to get stronger and faster. But he's got the stamina. He'll get there.
Yeah.
But he's right. We need to bring in another player that can just like give you 95 minutes every single week with some pace, no matter what. Like, who is that going to be?
Hopefully Mac Allister.
Well, he's coming. No, I'm saying somebody else.
Yeah, we got to get a Kone is the other guy we're being linked with. I got to follow up on him. I'm excited. Mac Allister coming. 95% done. I guarantee you it will be announced within the next week. Within the next week, it'll be announced. Probably sometime next week. And just in time for the Reds to start preparing for Europa League, Steve. Europa League. What's the Europa League song?
When does that start?
I forgot it. Hold on. I was going to sing it, but the only thing that going through my head is the Champions League song. But Europa League arguably is better than the song. The song is arguably better.
Hmm.
How do you sing it?
Wait, when does that start?
Europa League?
Yeah.
Next season.
Yeah, but you're like, it'll be signed in the next week, just in time to start preparing for the Europa League.
Yeah, it was just kind of a funny way to go into the Europa League.
I didn't know if the Europa League started like in 12 days or something.
Why are you being an asshole?
I'm not, because somebody else said something about the Europa League, and it made it sound like it was Klopp interview. Made it sound like it started early. So I was like, huh, is Europa League one of those things where like they have some matches during the summer?
Wait,
And to be honest, I'm so lucky that I haven't had to know anything about the Europa League in so long.
Wait, honestly, because there's more rounds and there's more teams. So maybe it starts earlier. Maybe
Do you think we could win it?
Yeah. We should win it. Do I think we will? It's going to be tough. Tough competition to win.
One thing I want to say about the Europa League, for those that are pissed about it, it's okay to be upset. But we have been so lucky. Let's think about it that way. We've been so lucky, and we don't deserve Champions League. The other thing I want to say is, it's not just us that struggled this year. Like, we were just battling Tottenham.
Yeah.
Tottenham fell off a cliff. Chelsea, what are they going to finish? 14th? Like, something insane.
Chelsea.
Big clubs struggled this year. I'm glad that we showed some heart this year. It was a little bit too late, but I don't think we can be arrogant and say, who cares about the Europa League or something like that, because those players are still going to give it their all. Klopp is still going to give it his all. August 10th. Yeah, here you go. And quite frankly, I'll say it again. We don't deserve the Champions League. Our name means nothing. If you cannot perform to a level that puts you in the top 4 and you get beat out by the likes of United and Newcastle, frankly put, you don't deserve to play on a Champions League night.
Agree. I think it's a good wake-up call for this team. Like, look, you have to play.
You have to perform.
You have to perform. Should we, going back to what you said earlier, should we win the competition? Yes. We're probably going to be top 3 teams in the competition next year. Okay? But it's not easy to win. It really is not easy to win. Who's in the final?
Is it Sevilla and Roma, obviously.
Sevilla and Roma. Hey.
What kind of question is that? Mourinho and Sevilla. What kind of question is that?
It's always Sevilla.
Oh my gosh. Man,
good evening.
Honestly, what Mourinho has done is just ridiculous.
I was thinking about this last night. How people hate him, I don't understand. Jose Mourinho is an amazing manager, and I think he's one of the funniest guys. And if you don't have respect for him, go watch the All or Nothing Tottenham thing on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
That really made me like, okay, he's completely different than I thought he was. What were you going to say, Steve?
I think Steve reads from the screen. I don't know what that means. Anyways.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's in real and uncredible.
It's in real.
If you watch that Tottenham thing, you do see a different side of him, and that's where it kind of changed for me.
Agreed.
It's okay to hate his antics. That's fine. But, like, guys, he's taking Roma to finals. European final. Roma. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, don't say Roma like they're a bad team. Like, historically, Roma's good.
Yeah, but Roma to finals, winning trophies with Roma.
I mean, well, to be fair, we had to beat them in a semifinal in the Champions League 6 years ago. So Roma are good. They've fallen off a pedestal a little bit, but when Mourinho took over that job, he was like, look, I realized what talent I'm going to be able to recruit and what talent I have. And I think he has catered that to winning at the second tier. Okay, like he's saying, all right, Europa League, I'm going to focus on. Domestic cups, I'm going to focus on. All right. He said to this day his greatest achievement was winning Europa League at Man United and finishing second. Which is kind of crazy when you think about it. When you think about the teams he's managed.
And he had Porto, too.
Porto, Inter, I love
Look,
him.
I'm not trying to bash Roma. I'm just saying what he's doing is incredible. Like, he just got there. He hasn't been there for a long time. What's it been? A year and a half?
I feel like he's been there for like 2 or 3 years.
I don't know. I'm just guessing. This might be his second full season. Maybe more. But it's just really impressive what he's done. And Nemanja Matic is on that squad.
Yeah, that's
so of course they're going to win trophies.
So is Chris Smalling.
Yeah, he's got all sorts of players over here. El Shaarawy still there.
Tammy Abraham. He's got one of them. Shout out Genie.
Yeah. Dybala's there, of course. Abraham. It's just pretty cool what he's done. What he's doing
Steve,
here. Spinazzola.
So what Liz says, Roma fans come after Steve on Twitter. Do you remember when Leeds got promoted and we did the pre-match for Leeds? It was the first game of the season, I think, in like 2019-20 or something.
I remember.
We've done pre-matches for a lot of games. No one ever freaks out. We did it for Leeds. Every Leeds fan under the sun came to the channel and was like, you guys don't know what you're talking about. We are better than you think. And we still beat them. So,
dude, I like Roma.
No, I know.
I've been there. I've seen the flares and the riots in the streets of Rome. It's crazy. I'm just giving Jose Mourinho some serious credit here.
Yeah, I agree. I like Mourinho. Basically, guys, if you haven't, go check out that documentary. That's a really good documentary.
He brings Harry Kane in and has a conversation with him, and I was like, wow, this is real. This is raw.
Yeah, it's real. And he does it with Dele Alli, and it made me just hate Dele Alli because Dele Alli was just like, what the fuck? Mourinho was hitting him with facts. Like, he was like, you could be one of the best young players in the league, but you have to work. Your attitude has to be there. But he's saying it nicely. And Dele's like, just shut up. Just super immature. And who was it? Was it Serge Aurier that came in? Or no, not Serge Aurier. It was someone that came in, one of the fullbacks, and was like, I gotta play. You started me against Liverpool and I played well. And Mourinho goes, to be honest, you did not play well.
Oh my gosh.
Hit him.
Wait, when is this final? Champions League.
Champions League, it's usually the first weekend in June.
So it's probably next Sunday?
It's probably next Saturday.
I thought they were usually on Sundays.
No, the Champions League finals are usually on a Saturday.
All right, well, let's see. Somebody let us know before we wrap this up here.
Yeah.
Poor Inter. I feel like they're going to struggle, but hopefully they don't.
I hope, dude, if Inter win, I'll
Saturday,
be
6:10. Wow. It's a while from now.
Yeah. Wait, say that again?
13 days from now is the final. June 10th.
Well, maybe City will cool off and Inter will win because that would excite me.
It's possible.
Will Inter win? Probably not. City have a good chance of winning 4-1. Let's be honest.
We said the same thing about Chelsea in that final. We didn't think Chelsea was going to win.
Oh, no, not at all. I remember that. Yeah.
Kai Havertz scored.
Shout out Kai Havertz.
No, never mind. We can't fall back into the Chelsea trap, Kyle.
Oh, no, I will gladly fall back into the Chelsea trap. Can we
I'll dive into the Chelsea trap.
All right, let's do it head first. In the shallow end.
They're the worst team in the league this year.
Worst team in the league.
Since
How
November.
are you going to spend $700 billion and be 14th in the league?
The spending has just gotten absurd. Almost scary. Not just them. I saw a report the other day that Ten Hag's got a $500 million budget this summer. And that dude, and Kim Jae from Napoli, the defender.
Yeah.
I think he's coming.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hearing rumors of that. But if they give Ten Hag $500 million, we know what kind of cash Newcastle has. We know Chelsea's already spent this cash. And Nkunku's still coming over. They're going to spend more.
I forgot about that.
City's going to dump cash. What we do could not be enough. It's scary how much
It
money
is-
is getting spent.
And it's scary as a whole. I agree, dude. The and it's only going to get worse when you have teams that have a $500 million budget every year. So once a year they're spending that minimum. Okay, I think the way it's there's no guarantee it's going to work is basically what I'm saying. Because look at Chelsea. Look at who they bought. Garbage.
I know.
Now
Because all the manager is
Pochettino,
important.
right. So they have Pochettino now. He might last, I don't know, 220 days. But the thing about Chelsea is there's no continuity, and they try to fix it by buying the next biggest name. It's not working. Okay, it worked. They won when it works, they fire the manager. Like, they are so stupid. They're so stupid. The last 2 times it's worked, they had Sarr, and I'm pretty sure they won the league and maybe the FA Cup or something. Or I don't know. They won something, fired him. Then they got Tuchel, won the Champions League, fired him. I hate how Chelsea are run. I hate it. Spoiled rotten, that team.
The only thing that I love about this is that they did it to themselves. They got rid of Thomas Tuchel, and they shouldn't have done that. He's a footballing brain, and like they got rid of him and brought in Graham Potter, and they literally hit rock bottom. Then they brought in Lampard, and they got worse. They drilled a hole in rock bottom and went lower. All because they got rid of Tuchel. Guaranteed this wouldn't happen if Tuchel was in play. They'd be around the Tottenham area. A couple points behind us, maybe. I honestly believe that.
Dude, I can't believe they brought in Lampard for a second time. They said, you did so well the first time. Let's bring you in again.
So you can save us. He made him worse. He got fired from Everton. Everton's the worst team in the country. What makes you think he's going to save you? Is it just because he knows like where the training ground is and is familiar with like the chefs? It's just easier to bring him in.
Oh my
It's
God.
the worst decision you could ever make.
They're so stupid, dude. The club is run terribly, and it's so funny, but it pisses me off because everything that's wrong with that club is right with Liverpool. But everything that is wrong with Liverpool is right with them. And by everything, I mean they spend. They buy big players, and it doesn't work. Okay? Like, oh my God, I hate Chelsea so much. I hate Chelsea so much, dude. Watch. They're going to have a lot of players offloaded this summer, but they're going to throw out some big name market players right now. Chelsea will buy them.
Neymar.
They'll buy Neymar. He'll be there. Who else?
Kimmich.
They'll probably get Kimmich. Who else? One more. Give me one more.
The guy from Napoli, the winger.
Kudamet.
That guy.
He'll be at Chelsea next season.
Yep.
My point is, Chelsea cannot and will not stick with a plan. They cannot. They're almost like an ADHD 10-year-old playing FIFA. All right? You buy a player, they have one bad game, you buy a whole new freaking team. They're not happy with one thing. They need to change it up. And they are inflating the market as a result. They're making it worse for everybody else. They spent over $100 million on Mudryk.
Guy is an absolute flop. An absolute flop.
All right, I'm sorry. We opened it. We opened the can of worms.
It's an absolute flop. They're all flops. All of them. All of them. Koulibaly, Felix.
Oh, dude,
Ziyech.
I used to think Koulibaly was one of the best center backs in the world, and then I started watching him. He's not good.
Well, it's the same thing that happened with Varane. They just got him a little too late. He made his move to the Prem a little too late. I think Varane's still good. There's no doubt. I'm not bashing Varane. Just a similar scenario. They're not going to be the worst player on the pitch, but they just don't have it anymore. Like, we got Virgil right at the perfect time.
Right.
Konate, we got Konate earlier than the perfect time.
Konate, I've said it for the past year and a half. After the conclusion of next season, everybody will be saying Konate is one of the best center backs in the world. Mark my words. Mark my words. He is incredible.
I think I can't talk about Chelsea anymore.
Oh, dude, okay, we won't talk about Chelsea. All right. But yeah, guys, Alexis Mac Allister, deal is almost done. If you guys haven't watched that portion of the show, you can watch it on the replay. Be sure to check that out. Liverpool will be playing Europa League football next season. It's not a bad thing. It's deserved, to be honest. We should be playing Champions League, but when you don't put the importance on matches during the season, this is the price you pay. And I think it'll be a good wake-up call, as we said, for the club. I think it'll also give us more freedom to play younger fringe players and see how they can develop. I mean, we're going to see a lot of Bajcetic next season. We'll see a lot of Elliott in Europe next season. We might even see Ben Doak. We're going to see a lot of fringe players. I hope that we see what's-his-face at right back, whatever the hell his name is. I forget it now.
Ramsey.
Thank you, Ramsey. Hopefully we see him at right back. We're going to see a lot of players next season, so I'm looking forward to that. Steve, do you have any closing thoughts, man?
No, just thank you to everyone for joining us for every Sunday summary. This is the last one of the season. For the season. We'll be here next Sunday and every other Sunday. This is the last in-season Sunday summary. And it's actually irrelevant because we're going to be here every Sunday after this. So
yeah, I know.
But thank you.
Someone, we had a new channel member join over the last week. I think it was RDO McDodge. Shout out to RDO McDodge if you're watching this. But he had said, I'm going to be so sad when the Sunday summary ends after next week. I'll be like, well, here you go, RDO. It's going on for the rest of the summer.
Don't you worry.
So, yeah. Guys, thanks again for tuning in. Shout out to all our channel members. We love you guys. And Steve, let's go get this last dub of the season, bro, and finish 5th. Let's go!
Bobby's going to start.
And I think James Milner should start too.
Yeah. I'm all for it. Let's do it.
All right, guys. Until next time, take care.